So this is my other electronics find from the past month or so. I picked this up about 3 weeks ago. It's a Sony component stereo system from 1991. Very good quality. It's one of the lower end stereos. The cassette player is integrated with the amplifier and tuner, and then the turntable and CD player were add-ons. But you can definitely tell that they're all meant for the same unit because they're all the same size. And the Sony, the turntable actually has a proprietary connector that goes to the receiver. It has normal RCA outputs, but then for the power and the ground, it uses this proprietary connection that only works with this receiver. So, I don't know what they were thinking with that, but Sony likes their proprietary stuff. So, it's to be expected. Anyways, I found this being thrown out about 3 weeks ago, and I picked it up and took it home. I brought it home, and it all worked fine. The only problem was there was a CD stuck in the mechanism for the CD changer. So that was the only thing wrong with it. And once I got the CD out, the mechanism for this worked perfectly. It all works fine now. So I don't know why the owner threw it out. Maybe they thought because the CD player wasn't working, the whole thing wasn't going to work, or something stupid like that, but it all works fine, so I got myself a nice stereo. I'm probably going to be keeping this. I think I'm going to use it in the basement in our house, because it's a good receiver. I also have that Sony receiver up there that was also being thrown out, even though it works fine. So I'm probably going to sell that because I really don't need that complex of a receiver. But this thing I'm definitely keeping because it's a nice little receiver or stereo system. And it sounds really good too. It came with these large speakers with mid-range, tweeter, and woofer. Though they did try to make the woofer look bigger. It has this silver outline. The woofer is only about that big. So they try to make the woofer look a little bigger. But it still sounds good.
Our 2-year price guarantee. Call 800-501-6000 or visit Comcast.
Ew.
75 million children in America.
So yeah, tuner works well. It has AM and FM, though it's a little weird with AM because it refers to it as medium wave, which is sort of the proper term, but most receivers refer to it as AM, not medium wave. So that led me to believe that maybe this thing would have shortwave on it, but it doesn't. It only has AM and FM, or as this likes to call AM, medium wave. Works though, so I can't complain. The only problem with the tuner is that it has a stereo option, but it also mutes the weaker stations. So you can see it just muted this station. So I get stereo, and it sounds good, but weaker stations get muted out altogether. And this isn't even that weak of a station. It's a relatively strong local station, so it just mutes it when you try to put it in the stereo. So I usually just leave stereo off because of that. But other than that, the tuner works fine. So let's go to the CD player, and I can get a CD to put in here. I'm probably going to piss off the YouTube copyright people, but I don't care. It's a 5-disc changer, which is nice, and it's a relatively small form factor for a 5-disc changer. Most of them are bigger than this, and the changer was made in Japan, so it's good quality. See the display there.
Entertainer, and I know just where I
This thing also has very good searching. Look at this.
Another long-haired band. Today I a neck and I write 'em a check and they go there merry. In line, gotta get those fees to the agent.
I don't know any CD player that can scan tracks that easily. I mean, there's no like lag or anything. As soon as you press the button, it starts searching. As soon as you let go, it stops searching and it resumes playing right away. So I don't think I've ever seen any CD player that was that good. So, we also have a fader and repeat and stuff. You could sync this up with the cassette recorder to record from the CD onto the tape. You could do the same thing with the phonograph too. So yeah, CD player works well, and I like it. So let's put that back, and I will demonstrate the cassette recorder now. The only problem with the cassette recorders is that they don't really, the buttons don't stay on very well. The play buttons are both stuck, but, or like not stuck, they aren't staying on there very well. But they still work. I really need to clean the heads in this. But it all works. So that deck works. The other deck B, it was obviously used a lot more, and I say that because there's a lot more noticeable head wear, and there's also a lot more wow and flutter. So now it doesn't even want to play. But you can hear there's wow and flutter. So that all works. And lastly, I'll demonstrate the phonograph. I don't think this was used very much because the cartridges and the needle is still in very good shape. But it's a semi-automatic. It has an automatic reject. You press the button and it automatically returns to the beginning. And also when it gets to the end of the record, it returns to the beginning. So it's relatively nice.
Since you've been around, your love's put me at the top of the world. Something in the
So here's the automatic reject.
And it's telling me.
See what it does there? So it automatically returns that to the beginning and stops the record. And then of course, when you get to the end, it automatically brings it back to the beginning. So yeah, it's a rather nice, what's the word? Turntable. Not as nice as the Technics turntable I have, but it's still decent and sounds good. So that's about it. Turn everything off. So yeah, this is a pretty nice stereo system, especially considering this wasn't the highest end stereo you could buy back then. This was probably a cheaper, maybe even bottom of the line stereo, but it still sounds very good and everything's good quality. This was back when Sony products were still really good. Of course nowadays most of Sony's stuff is a hunk of crap, with a few exceptions, in the higher end market. But this is a good stereo, and I just dropped a flashlight. But it's a good stereo, and I'll probably be keeping it for future use, especially because it has everything you'd ever need, like a CD player, cassette, radio, and turntable. And then, of course, you can substitute the CD for a line input to connect your iPod or phone or whatever. So, that's all for my recent electronics finds and this stereo. Hope you enjoyed the 2 videos I made. Thanks for watching.